art students, we are now going to get into the sustained investigation of this portfolio. And remember, we are looking at the exemplar for 2019. So that means that that is the student example of a perfect score. And this is from the College Board website. The link is actually at the end of this presentation. So you'll see it in this video and you can click on the presentation to find that link if you want to go explore this portfolio on your own. We're going to get into this student sustained investigation. So let's start by looking at her concentration statement, and it's a little bit long, but I'm going to read all of it to you. So my concentration is 3 sets of jewelry based on design and architectural elements of major airports I travel through frequently: Beijing, Seoul, and Atlanta. The structures on ceilings, windows, as well as the views of runways and terminals from airplanes are what inspired each set of jewelry. So if you didn't watch my previous video where I talked about this student's selected works and her ranges or breadth, then she has a series of jewelry, and this is where she talks about her inspiration for making those jewelries. And it's a really very smart topic. I can totally understand how she got a perfect score. So she continues by saying, my work in the series of jewelry is about scale. Airports are a place where things are big and small. We feel so small inside the spaces, but from above, they look tiny. During my layovers in these airports, I became increasingly aware of the unique patterns tied to each space. With some help from Google and my personal travel photos, I explored whether these design elements would translate if they shift from a space I am in to something I wear. Now let's think about that for a second. This is so smart. She's talking about one of those design elements, space, and she's just being very intelligent about it, but doing it in a way that is totally achievable. So instead of thinking that she has to take on this huge concept of space, she's being really smart about it and talking about it in a way that totally relates it back to the pieces that she made. And in just a few minutes, we're going to look at the different pieces she made, and it's really going to all come together for you. All right, so this is where she explains it. The 9-piece portfolio is divided into three-piece portions. So she's got 9 pieces featuring Beijing, Incheon, which I'm not sure if that's how you say that, and Atlanta airports. Number 4, number 8, and number 12, those are image numbers, are posters created to illustrate my inspirations and relate each piece of jewelry to a certain structure in its corresponding airport. And you'll see these images. So she made a collage of her inspiration and the pieces that she made, and it's just a really smart way to tie it all together. As soon as I saw those collages, I was like, oh, everything she talked about makes sense. Concentrating mainly on ceilings, windows, and runways, I made one set of ceiling earrings, window rings, and runway brooches for each airport. Since Beijing and Atlanta are always my origin and destination, while Seoul is my transition place, I made the series of Beijing in gold, Atlanta in silver, and Seoul in silver and gold. So here you have the first piece, and look at her materials here. Like I was saying earlier, not necessarily crazy expensive here. She's got some brass pieces, she soldered them, super glue, and a fake pearl. So this girl probably went to an arts and crafts store, got her materials, and then it's really about her smart design more than it is how labor intensive the actual fabrication of the piece was. All right, so those are her earrings. There's her ring, and there's the brooch. And that's for the first airport. So if you look at this, everything about this is well thought out, down to the model and what the model is wearing. So think about someone going to an airport and the fact that she styled them to wear like a professional looking kind of jacket and then a collared shirt. And then in this image, she had her take off the jacket so that the ring would stand out. So this child really thought about everything. Even this image where we're looking at the earring, the hair is styled in a way that a professional woman would wear her hair, especially if she's traveling in an airport. So everything about this is just kind of getting me in the mindset of what the student was thinking about. And it's just really impressive that she was thinking through all these design issues while she was traveling. She was taking pictures of architecture while she was in an airport. That's probably the last thing I'm thinking about when I'm in an airport. I'm probably thinking about what gate I need to get to. All right, so not only did the student really think through her design and her process and her inspiration, but she also thought about how her work was going to be photographed and shown in the portfolio. So you've got this nice collage here, and then you've got these very styled photos that help kind of get me in the mindset of what she was thinking. So when you're making your 3D projects, begin with the end in mind. Think about how you're going to show this to the AP readers, what kind of pictures need to be taken, and then let's get that worked out. If I'm taking pictures for you, I'm just going to take a picture of your object in front of a white background with some, good lighting, or as good lighting as I can get. If you want to do something more creative like this student did, then you need to also become the photographer. And that is only going to help you grow and get better as a 3D artist, because part of being a 3D artist is figuring out how am I going to show my work to people that can't actually experience it in person. All right, so this is the collage that she was talking about earlier, where it has her inspiration right next to the pieces. So you've got the ceiling, and then you've got her earrings, you've got the windows, and then you've got the ring, and then you have the runway, and then you have the brooch. Smart. And then she even has the little labels underneath in case we forgot what she said in her concentration statement. So she's really thinking about those AP readers. And everything about this just screams design to me. The photographs are good. The lines are clean. Everything is the same size. It's very uniform. The text is not distracting, but it is very easy to read. So this student is obviously very good at design. Probably not just 3D design, but also graphic design. But this is the kind of thing, if you feel like this is not your strong suit, but you need to do something like this, reach out to other people for help. Reach out to your teacher for help. Look at the internet for sources and inspiration. So there's no reason that you cannot achieve this, even if this is not your natural gift. All right, so this is the next set of jewelry for the, I believe, Seoul Airport. So here you have brass, aluminum, silver, fake pearl, super glue, and solder. Then you have her ring and the brooch. And then you have her photographs of the inspiration next to the pieces that they inspired. And this student also really had to think through their photographs for this section as well. So think about the fact that she used black and white photos. So even if they weren't black and white, she probably converted them to black and white so that it would be more focused on the architecture instead of being distracted by color. And then she also took pictures of her pieces on a black background. That helps kind of unify everything. So these pictures were like a model photo shoot. And then these pictures were more like a product design or product photo shoot. All right, and then this is her last set of jewelry. So these are the earrings, and they are made from silver, aluminum, fake pearl, chain, super glue, and solder. So even though she's incorporated the chain here, she's got a lot of the same elements and materials that kind of unifies everything together. There is the ring, and there is the brooch. This one, she actually used SketchUp and then 3D printing. So, she's incorporating some of that technology, but it looks like from her other things that she probably could have fabricated that by hand. She could have done it either way. But once again, this is not about being super labor intensive and how she made it. This is more about thinking through design, and she did a great job of that. This is her image of her inspiration next to the actual piece that she made. All right, so let's talk about what the scorers said was good about her portfolio. Let's see what they agreed with and disagreed with from your teacher's opinion or your opinion. And remember, this child made a perfect score, so they got all the points possible and they scored a 6 overall. All right, so the reader said the jury in this sustained investigation and the topic using design and architectural elements of major airports are unmistakably and coherently integrated. The structure on ceilings and windows, as well as the aerial views of runways and terminals, clearly inspired each set of design. The investigation of airports as design inspiration provides convincing evidence of informed decision making. The documentation of the process adjacent to photographs of the finished works in images 4, 8, and 12 clearly illustrates an awareness of the unique patterns tied to specific spaces. The rest of the images demonstrate how airport architecture translates in form to a wearable scale. A significant decision is seen in how the sets are organized, not only by airport, but also by a combination of function and inspirational feature. The combination of the theme of airport architecture with adornment shows risk-taking and clearly demonstrates an original vision. The work in images 1 and 2, 5 and 6, 9 and 10 refers to architectural features as a person would experience them on the ground, while the work in images 3, 7, and 11 is based on aerial views from the aircraft. The work shows a thorough understanding and effective application of 3D design principles. Unity, variety, and rhythm are created through repetition of lines, shapes, occupied and unoccupied space. More complex relationships are created as the jury interacts with the body to highlight the scale shifts and to further activate space. The inclusion of reference photographs creates a clear demonstration of the transformation that has occurred as the jewelry was designed. 2 or 3 different variations of the basic design are included for each pair of airport ceiling earrings. In general, the work is technically excellent. For example, image 6 clearly demonstrates expertise in soldering the various metals. Despite the small scale and combining space, joints are seamlessly assembled in this work. So think about it. If she had done the exact same portfolio, but the jewelry was messy and you could see where she attached the different pieces together, it would not get a perfect score, even if the design was really good. So it's really that synthesis of design and concept and skill that makes her portfolio get that 6. Software is used to render the 3D printed brooches in images 3, 7, and 11. These inventive forms are further articulated with liquid gold and or silver leaf. The materials and media are used effectively to express ideas. So this is not a student that just said, oh, I like gold because it's pretty. That might have been why she chose gold to work with initially, but she really tied that in when she talked about making all the pieces from her destination, I believe, gold, and all the pieces from her starting point silver or vice versa. And then she stuck to that. So very smart, very well thought out design choices there. I'll leave you there. If you want to click on the link, you're welcome to go to the presentation. And I hope you have a great day.